Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Build 206 studio with Double Dutch Diva Shamika. You already know Miss Angie is here in spirit today. She was unfortunately not able to make it, but we all have life and things that happen. So I am here with my new guest,
Catchy.
Kechi. We are welcoming Kechi to the show. She is an amazing woman. I've read a little bit of her bio, but I'm totally going to leave it up to her to tell you guys a little bit about herself.
Well, hello, everyone. Like Shamika stated, my name is Kechi, and I am a 31-year-old American-born Nigerian with a passion for people and a heart for service, honestly.
I know that's right. Okay. Hey.
So, currently, I'm the Chief of Operations for Pro Se Potential, which is a nonprofit organization. We work with youth, and our main goal is to empower them to outperform their environments. So we really want them to reach their fullest potential and let them know that they are not stuck in a statistic, really, and let them know that there's no barriers to the things that they can achieve. I also am the CEO of Overcomer Consulting, which is a creative consulting firm. And what I do there is I help with anything creative, from events to marketing to strategy to how to overcome things that are holding you back as a woman. So it's overcome her. My main focus is empowering women and young girls to be all they can be and shine as bright as they were born to do.
I love that. Oh my goodness. That is so amazing. I told y'all new fabulous guests. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I love that. So do you work independently? Like how can people, tap into your services, or is there anything that they need to know as far as a website in case they were interested in any of those groups?
So for Pro Se Potential, I work in partnership with Devontae Parson. He is the executive director. And right now we are building partnerships in the community just for resources for our youth. Our main focus is housing security, education, and job placement. So we do all of that through learning circles where we focus on healing-centered engagement, one-on-one mentoring, and case management. So we're always looking for people in the community who are ready to volunteer and also have a heart for the youth that want to hop on board and help us with anything we're doing. We do have a website. It's prosepotential.org. And also we're on Facebook and Instagram as well, Pro Se Potential.
Okay, Pro Se Potential. Okay, this is what it's all about, is being out in the community, shaking hands, meeting friends, stating what we have to offer and how we can help each other. That's kind of like what we are trying to build through young women, young men, but our future and our further generations to come definitely make a difference, and we want to embrace that and share it and swap as much information and programs and potential that we possibly can.
Exactly.
Right, so I think you've landed directly in the perfect place at the right time. So let's go ahead and get into it. I got a couple questions for you, so we're just gonna talk about it. What is the top issue negatively impacting Black women in your opinion?
In my opinion, I honestly would say it is the lack of care that stems from I would say, maybe if I'm being nice, the faith that we're so strong.
Yeah.
I feel like we have been conditioned to believe that Black women can handle more, so they could carry the weight of the world. They can handle more pain, and that's in every arena in the medical field.
Definitely,
just as mothers, as women in general in business, we don't get as many raises. However, more work's being put on us.
Right.
And then also in the household, it's a stigma.
Definitely.
And I believe that is probably one, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues concerning Black women.
Yeah, that's amazing. I highly agree with that. Like you think that sometimes a Black woman can do every single thing, and that we're not, easily broken, or
Right.
that, we're just that strong where what you say, how you affect us, how you approach us, how you treat us doesn't sometimes make a difference. And let me tell y'all, we feel that, number one. Number two, it's important to, again, know that and respect it and be able to put that out there and own that, because it's so women have been being mistreated for so many years and so many different things that we've experienced. Now we're a little more powerful, we're starting to be in higher places and things of that sort. And it's like, it's a privilege.
Yeah.
When did it become a privilege to be a strong, amazing person? Like, you serious? Like, it gets crazy. Yes, so I highly agree with that. There is lack of that in the community for women, especially. With that being that said, how do you think we as a community can address this? Like, how can we help it? How can we make it better?
Honestly, that's a hard question, yet it's so easy because it's conditioning. So the only way to get rid of something that you have been conditioned to do, conditioned to believe, is reconditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So just reiterating the fact that though we are strong, we are human, and though we can carry a lot, doesn't mean we have to. Doesn't mean that we were made to carry it all. And like I say, the youth, they are our future. So it starts, to me, it starts there.
Yes.
Older generations, just like we've been conditioned, it's almost normal. It's almost a normal thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just, this is what it is and it's not going to change. But the youth, they're young and they're optimistic and they have so much hope. And they're still sponges,
Oh,
so
yeah.
just teaching and reiterating and showing them the power in sharing the load, the power in respecting what it is to be a woman, what it is to share space with a woman, because it is a very powerful thing. We can do a lot on our own, but with help and the right support and love, we can do even more together.
Exactly. That's been something that we've kind of talked about a lot, through these interviews and things, is that self-care and loving yourself enough to love another person, and be that helping hand, and let be that shoulder to cry on and things of that sort. But educate, like, sticking together and guiding each other, leading each other, setting examples for each other. That's what we need right now. So I agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay. Yes. Perfect person, right place, right time. All right. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. And you can choose to answer this or not, but have you, or do you know anybody who's ever been convicted and been in jail?
Yes, I can say that I do.
Okay. And how did that impact you or others, do you feel?
Well, me, it's more, they were more so friends. I don't have a lot of family members that when I was coming up, that I have been impacted that way, but mainly just friends and people that I was close to coming up. And it's just impacted me in a way, when you're young and you run with a certain group of people, you make all these plans on what you guys are going to do. And when you turn this age, how you're going to show off, how you're going to make this and do this. And when someone goes away, that those plans are diminished, they're put on hold. And a lot of the times they may not be who they were when they come out, so you're reintroduced to someone else, and doesn't mean it take away from your relationship, because when you love someone and you're there for them in every stage of their life. But it just takes away from those dreams, those aspirations you guys had together, and their family,
Definitely.
A lot of people, they play major roles. From my perspective, the ones I've known, they played a major role in their families. Like, someone may have been the only one that was there to take care of their younger siblings,
seeing them
paying the bills,
having that, has someone else to have their back,
right,
in case.
So when they go away, it's all left on one person. And that big support system that could be the backbone of the family, the rock, is gone. So it turns a lot of people into survival mode, trying to figure out how I'm going to make ends meet, how I'm going to get this done. And unfortunately, a lot of time that leads them to be in a prison themselves, just like their incarcerated, loved individual.
Yes, I highly agree with that. Yes, I couldn't agree more. I'm like, yes, it definitely affects everybody. Like it's so amazing how, that rock being removed can sometimes either make you or break you. Like you never really know how it's going to affect you until it happens. And so, I agree. Gotta entrust in yourself, and then do the right things, so you don't have those experiences. But I, on the other hand, had a lot of family that I knew that was in and out. I went myself, I learned my lesson, and so it can definitely change you. So you definitely want to make sure that you're following the right path and doing the right things. But in your opinion, how do you think it could have been prevented, like even for your friends, or just what do you think their main thing that they missed and landing themselves in jail, whether it was right, wrong, accident?
I would say guidance. A lot of the times, even some people can seem well off as if they have everything or they have it all together. And when you come off as putting on a brave face and, oh, they'll be okay regardless.
Right.
And no one actually takes the time to tap into, okay, they're still human. There are still things that affect them. Let me see what they're missing. Let me see if they're actually okay.
Exactly.
Just like we talked about, a shoulder to lean on, someone to talk to, open up, and then a safe space where they felt they could open up. So, because who knows, if they were able to open up and say, this is what I'm missing, this is what I'm lacking, this is what I feel I need, someone could have been there, been that support to provide those things, or put them in a place or a position to where they will have those resources. They wouldn't have to resort to doing the things they did to end them up in the places they were,
Exactly.
It's all about the survival mode. A lot of things happen when you're in survival mode.
I agree with that completely. That survival mode portion of it. It's like, I really have to make it now. Like, how am I going to make this work? Like, I'm in a situation, but I have no choice but to make it work.
Yeah, that's a big
or
thing.
Let go or quit, and don't nobody want to quit. And that's just crazy.
No one wants to look like a punk. And, that's a big thing. We even speak to the youth. We say, thrive over survive. So, yeah, you may be in a certain situation right now, but we try and help them figure out a path so they can thrive and get over that situation. So they're not just taking roads in which they feel they're having to survive. Because when you take those paths, chances are you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again to get it. But what we want to do is to guide them to be a safe space, to not just show them that it's possible because we've been in this situation and we've overcome, but also lay out their options in front of them, show them a different perspective of life, So like I said, for me, it was mainly friends that I grew up with. So at that point in life, when we were teenagers, it would be guidance, them having a safe space, them being able to open up and tell someone what they're needing, what they're lacking, or how they're feeling even. Especially with Black men, it's very hard to say how you feel.
Definitely. And yet it's like they're not allowed to, or they weren't taught to. It's not, you are a sucker. You are a punk if you're out here crying like a little bitch. We can't have that.
Exactly.
Excuse my language, but I'm just saying, so to have a Black man that does have that support system is key. And, I think a lot of our youth are missing that. Like, we used to have a lot more community center programs, a lot more activities for kids, some youth employment, like all these different types of things. And they just dwindled, like, because of funding or this or that, like, what about us? We want to make sure that our communities are thriving and continuing on to, have the opportunity to show these people, instead of being in the streets or, making bad choices out in life, just that there is somewhere else to go to keep your attention better divided, or to have that guidance that can be helped and everything. And so we want to make sure, again, we're just bringing everybody we possibly can together to have these conversations and make sure that we are networking together and that we are all in this community together and all through the whole things that are going on right now. I can go on and on and on.
Most definitely. I know
it. Let me get back to it. So what supports would you say that their family could have used, as you said, ministering to the youth and, having that program? What do you think can help the families that have experienced that, or that, that have gone through, missing that person at home, whether it's mom, dad, or just family, because of going to jail?
Honestly, I believe every situation is different. because everyone ends up, when they end up incarcerated, it's all for different reasons.
Of course.
Some just didn't have that guidance.
Mhm.
Some got caught up making runs and doing things they shouldn't have been doing so they could have money to provide to help mom
Right.
pay the bills. So it all just depends on the family, you
Mhm.
know. So, and that's another big thing. That's why it's so important to the mentoring piece, the
Right.
building a relationship, especially. And I always take it back to youth, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
and that's like the main
And
thing we
that's
do.
what we focused on, right?
We have
Like we
to.
have to make sure that they're available to take over the reins when we leave.
Right.
Like we're not going to be here forever. We know that.
So
You know, you got to teach them.
that's where the case management piece comes into it. Like with Pro Se, there's a reason why we do mentoring, and then we do case management, and then we do learning circles with healing centered engagement in the middle, because the case management, that's where we provide resources not just to the youth but to their families. The mentoring is where we build the relationships, and that always comes first. The first thing is to build a relationship, let them know they have a safe space with us, let them know that we're here for them, whatever they need, that they can talk to us. And it doesn't always just, we all know they won't just automatically open up and start spilling everything.
Not a teenager.
You know, I remember one of my mentees,
middle schooler,
right? I took her out, and I'm just excited, ready to hear it all, and she's quiet the whole time, and we're just eating. So, you know, I'm asking questions, her answers are short, and this happened a couple of times until she started opening up and talking and realizing I'm not going anywhere. You know, she's here to stay, because a lot of the times people aren't consistent. So when you build that relationship, like I said, each family is different. You get to know, okay, I'm having issues at school because these people are there and they're picking on me. They're not okay. So then you need someone to advocate for you in the school system and let them know it's not her being a bad child, her not wanting to listen. It's that someone is bothering her. So how do we put her in an environment where she could focus on learning? So that's probably what they would need in that situation. Case management comes into play then. And then there's families where, I'm not in school, or I'm not, I'm running around with these people because they throw me jugs, I can make money. I can make money because my brother just got locked up and my mom's having a hard time paying bills. So they need assistance with lights. So then we can tap into the partners who can give a stipend for that, So it just depends on the situation. It depends on the youth. It depends on the family, what actually is provided and the resources that they may need. But I feel like it all starts with building that relationship and actually getting to the core. A lot of programs, a lot of people, they're there to help, but I'll help you with this. And it stops there.
And that's it.
And then if you need something else, I'm sorry, you can call 211.
And can anyone use these youth resources?
Yeah, we work with, we take referrals. We work with youth from BIPOC communities, ages 13 through 24, living in South King County. So it's actually pretty wide range, but we're really open. We're always accepting referrals. On the website, there's a way you can referral. There's a way you can send messages. But just to circle back to the question, we really take pride in being very specific with each person, because we're not going to marginalize you and say this is what you need. Each family is different.
All communities are not the same. Each city in South King County doesn't have the same issues.
Right.
Is basically what we're tapping into here, so everybody does need something different. Every situation is different, and actually having someone that will take the time, or that actually cares to be involved and consistent, like you say, is hard to find. It's really hard to find. And so again, this is why we have this place and this space, is to make sure that, we're working together and trying to see what the issues are and make sure that there's a safe space to either promote or, discuss issues that are bothering you and things of that sort, that we are topic savvy on. So this is going amazingly. So what do you think about everything else that's going on? COVID, politics, Black Lives Matter.
Well, to start, COVID. Honestly, I will say right now, my views and everything I have to say about COVID is probably from a biased perspective, just because of everything that it took away, everything it took away. But I like to try and be on the positive side of things, because it did bring a lot of things. It brought the realization of the importance of connection, it helped it helped me spend more time with my daughter.
Mhm.
I have a 7-year-old, and her being home, it helped me
Mhm.
get to know her more, and helped me stare in the mirror, because that's
Right.
what it was.
I know that very well. Yes.
And then people got to work from home, and then with working from home, and you get to manage your time, and with managing your time, you get to start other things,
Right.
I started journaling again. After a while, it just got very hectic working. I worked in program management, for in the healthcare field for 5 years. And I remember it just got back to back. I was just moving. And at first I would do the things I loved, like work with the youth and volunteer on the side. And then it got to a point where I wasn't doing any of it.
Oh yeah.
It just
with COVID,
slowly dwindled away.
Definitely.
And it was COVID that made me realize, because they shut it down, and I kept saying, oh, I'm going to do it. Oh, I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to go to the next one. Then there was no next ones.
Mhm.
It was just me, myself, my child, and the house,
Yeah, what you gonna do? It's going
what are you gonna
quarantine.
do? So COVID took a lot away. It took a lot of great people away as well.
Yeah.
And so I do have some negative feelings about that. But like I said, I try and be on the positive side, and it did also bring me some realizations that I hold close now, and made me tap back into my values. If it wasn't for COVID, I don't know, I probably would have never, or this quickly, said, okay, I'm going back to doing what I love. I can't spend my time just working. I have to do something I'm passionate about, enjoy life. I have to do something that makes an impact, that I can look back and say, I changed lives. I helped people, And I mean, that's COVID.
Yeah, that's COVID.
That's
right.
COVID.
I'm like, I feel the same way, like the quarantine and everything. Just now, like, okay, maybe you don't listen in class. Maybe you ain't your teacher. I've seen a lot of memes about that. Yeah, it was hilarious. But yeah, you never know. And it changed the touch, the wanting to be near someone, and just being cooped up in the house. It's almost like cabin fever.
Right.
I did a lot too, like a lot more indoor gardening, or baking. I was making masks, all kind of stuff. I was like, I can sew a little bit. Let me see what I can do on this.
I actually wrote and published my first book.
Yes,
during COVID.
Gonna bring that back up.
Yeah.
I'm like, so yes, you are an author as well.
Yes.
Let's get into that. Like,
I wrote a book last year, actually, called A Single Mother's Guide to Not Losing Your Shit.
Okay, a single mother's guide to not losing your shit. Okay, we all sometimes almost lose our shit. Okay, so this is amazing. What?
And it was like a journal. Like I said, I started journaling again, and I found myself writing a lot of tips to myself and lessons that I learned, like because I took COVID really made me sit back and reflect a lot. So I just started writing notes and writing lessons and writing tips, and then journaling about how I felt about it and times where I felt different. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this, because when I first became a mother, I was automatically a single mother. This is something like I heard these lessons, and I took some lessons that I got from some mentors that I met along the way, and women that helped uplift me, because I mean, it's hard. It's not a village. It takes a village,
all the time here.
So
it takes a village.
It was that book, and then I did my first children's book, As Rich as My Roots, actually.
As Rich as My Roots.
Yes, and it's about a Nigerian American girl who went to school and got teased because her hair and her features, and she goes home upset, and her grandmother sits her down and tells her the story of all the richness of Africa, all the kings and queens that reigned. And then she goes to school empowered, and she lets them know, like, I'm not ashamed.
I got this.
So, and that's a
look
picture
at my
book,
hair.
Yes. And the girl, she has these two big puff balls, like my daughter. She loves showing her puff balls. So it was really cute. I published that one. So it was like COVID gave me that, because without it, I probably wouldn't have said, let me actually do it. And the funny thing is, the children's book, I actually wrote it in college. And I had a friend who was in engineering school who illustrated it. He drew it. And then he did it. And then I just had it to the side and I never published it. And then I was like, I just published this book I wrote. Why not? Let me finally publish this children's book. So it gave me time. I would say that. It
all
gave
the
me
time in the world to sit back and think. So yeah, but there's positives and there's definitely negatives.
Oh, definitely.
You know, so it's okay to talk about the negatives along with the positives. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, we learned a lot, right? Yes. And I mean, it was everybody, the stores even felt it. The shelves. Yeah, they were pretty bare.
And they're trying to make it back now. I'm telling you that with the prices.
It's still so it's expensive, like crazy. Yes, COVID was definitely something we kind of never at all could have possibly thought of, like ever foreseen. But at the same time, we've lived through, you know, a lot worse back in the other times, you know. So it's just like we gonna make it. We gonna make it, but we gonna have to make it together.
Yes.
Like period, point to the blank on that one. So what have you done to take care of yourself on top of publishing and being an author of a whole book? Like, that's amazing.
Well, I had stopped working out and then I started again, but the gyms were closed. So, you know, I started at home. It made me get inquisitive again, you know, so I started doing more research on different topics that may interest me and different things I wanted to learn about. I got in tune with my child. So, and that in itself, that's healing, you know, because like I said, it's looking in a mirror, you know, and everything that bothers me, like, why do you do that? I do it, you know? That was self-care.
Feel that.
Yes,
like, definitely.
That was definitely self-care, taking time to see that and then actually do something about it. Because there's certain things I say, I want my daughter to know that she is beautiful. I want her to know she can achieve anything if she puts her mind to it, you know? And then I know, like, I used to write affirmations every morning, you know, and then recite them before I go out. So helpful. I started that again. I said, I want her to do this. Like when I would see that she would get upset and she would hold her head down and I would tell her, you shouldn't hold your head down. And I'm like, she does that. She probably sees me. So I have to start putting these things into practice. So I literally started studying my child in order to get to know myself better, because seeing myself do it, I'll be in denial all day.
That's amazing that you like even put that together. Like, I'm like, what? I was like, I'm gonna have to try that. Like, you know, you pay attention to your kids and everything. It definitely brought us closer. Like, even now, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of ready to go away and have some me time. I love you guys, but it's been a long time. But you know, sometimes you just have to sit back and look at it and just be like, okay, I'm pretty sure I used to do something similar to that, like that. Like, you know, or my mom, Mom, I love you, but always tells me that, you know, you didn't listen. You did that. You did that as a kid. And I'm just like, look in the mirror. Like, that's kind of the best way to handle it. Look in the mirror. Yeah, that's you.
And then the last thing I would say is it made me pick up a book again. You know?
Yes.
You know,
I agree.
I kind of said, like, after I wrote one, I was like, oh, I write books, you know. I don't need to read books. No.
But okay, you heard it. She said, let me see what y'all down there you're trying to do and put together. No.
But with the studying, I'm like, there's certain things that made me read books that I feel could help me, you know, that could help me with certain things I'm going through, or could just help better sharpen my mind and my skills.
Definitely.
You know? So
that is amazing. I cannot believe that. Yeah, the books, everything. I'm like, yeah, we do a lot of the similar things, you know, but at the same time, each person is different. You know, you always, you know, want to see what works for them. Like, even just as far as self-care, like, is it just taking time for you? You know, how important it is to care for yourself. Because if you can't care for yourself, you can't care for anybody else. So it's just like, you have to make sure, ladies, that we are taking care of ourselves, even gentlemen, like, you know, but it's about the ladies over here. You know, we love you, men. Men's and kings and things, but yes, the queens need to sometimes just sit on their throne and just kick their feet up and just celebrate themselves. So that's great that you're doing that, and you're super into journaling. You know, all that is definitely healthy, and even talking to someone. We've talked about that too. You know, having that outlet to make sure that everyone has someone to talk to. You know, that safe space, like that listening ear that's going to have your back. And so that's amazing that you're putting that out there. You're sharing the information that you have so everyone else can bounce off of it, you know, like, and learn different things, and sharing with the world, sharing with the community, making sure that we are, again, on all this together. Like, it's amazing. I love it. I'm so happy to meet you. Like, oh my goodness. Well, I met you before, but you know, Not as far as this, like I wasn't that deep into your life. Like
Right.
this is amazing. Black excellence. Okay, y'all in the building. So we're about done here. But before we go, of course, do you have any questions for me?
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
I would kind of want to piggyback off the first question about Black women. What would you say is like the number one thing that's affecting Black women in this community?
I would say the respect and the workload of a Black woman. Like it's just you're more put off as being too hard, and you got it all because you're strong. Like you got it. You don't need no help. Like you don't have any feelings and nothing like that. Like you just carry the weight on your world and just keep pushing, and you're supposed to.
Right.
That's your job. Like and you have to work hard and do that, so that stigma, like you say, is key. Like you have to hold it down, but at the same time do what makes you happy. Don't overwork yourself and things like that. So my goal of the year as a Black woman is to make sure that I am caring for myself and treating myself as the queen that I am, and that I do what I want to do and I make myself happy, and I don't have to just work on other people's time. I can do other things and be happy, and at the same time, do I even have to work with you people? Okay, right. I can do my own businesses. Right. Like I can do me, so I did massage therapy and things of that sort. Like I've just done a lot with my life. And so it's to be the best woman that I can be, and make sure that I'm opening up to other Black women and that I'm networking. Like me and Angie and the Double Dutch Divas, that was a mutual friend.
I need to jump with you guys because
yes, you do.
I have ropes I brought back from Maryland, and no one has let me put them with the little beads. They're different colors and they're on the concrete. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting.
Nobody. I'm gonna text you because tomorrow night it's going down.
Oh, for real?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Always. Yes. Everybody in the community is always welcome to be with the Double Dutch Divas. I'm sorry you didn't get to meet Miss Angie, but I'm sure you will in the very near future. And as far as networking and things like that, like it sounds like you have a lot of resources. We're definitely working with the youth in the middle schools and elementary schools around the community, north, south. We're kind of, going where we can with those that, have the time to have us. But just working with the kids and making sure they just have some free time to have fun and let go and be crazy and get your workout on and feel good and be with other people and work as a team. Everybody's a Double Dutch diva. It takes nothing. Anybody can do it. All you got to do is move your feet, try and give it a shot and you're good, So yeah, it's definitely just being open to be more involved in the community and tap into everybody that I can that's willing to share and participate. And we have these conversations and continue that. And even this is new for me, but I'm always in some type of something, y'all. I just got a knack for it and I enjoy it. And so I'm going to make sure that, we keep this going and that we open up the platform for anyone and any woman. There's women resources, there's men resources. But again, we're all in it together and this is what we do. It's what we're supposed to do, right?
Most definitely.
I mean, other than that, yeah, COVID was crazy. I have 3 kids myself. So yeah, COVID with kids, no school, well, the 2 of them anyway. It was a lot. It was definitely a heavy weight. And it's like, you couldn't go nowhere. It's like, what am I going to create in the kitchen today? Yes. Okay. Or I went to the store this once a month, because I ain't trying to be out again, I did my splurge on the store route, now what am I going to do with all this? Like, how am I going to put this together? Like, it was really stressful. It was really different. But total survivor mode. Like,
right.
It goes back to that, being strong enough to keep fighting. We didn't know how long we was going to be locked up in the house or anything like that. But just the fact that, we are still here and most people, have dealt with it, but there's not to say there's not a lot of pain out there behind it. There's not a lot of broken families behind it. It's not a lot of lost people in the world right now, so again, having that platform to talk about it is like key. And, just being open, make sure you're loving yourself, you're loving others, in the community throughout any which way it goes. But yes, I appreciate you, Kechi, and it was a pleasure meeting you. And did you have any other questions?
I always ask this question when I'm being interviewed or when I'm interviewing, and I think it's very important, especially with someone with so much wisdom. And you just give off these vibes of wisdom.
Why, thank you.
And I like giving people opportunities to soak in information and learn. Okay. So my last question I would ask you is if you can give one piece of advice to women out there starting out on their journey who says, hey, I want to do something I'm passionate about. I want to do something that I love. And I'm finished slaving for for others. What would you say?
You gotta get, it's like Nike, just do it.
Mm,
You know, like you have to get out there. And like, if you really believe in it, yeah, you may fall. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, you know, but at the same time, take that leap of faith, jump off that branch and just poke your foot in the pool, you know, and see, check the temperature, you know, and see what it's like. But you'll never know if you constantly make excuses,
right.
or second guess yourself, or think that you can't do it because you've never done it before, or you're not like them, or you're not as popular or as rich, or, you know, those type of things. It's like, if you want it, you got to go out there and get it.
Yeah.
You know,
keys.
Yeah.
These are keys.
Yeah, for real. You know, so make sure that you're doing that, and that you believe in yourself, because doubting yourself isn't going to get you nowhere. Like, never has doubt gotten you too much anywhere out the door, right? Like, it's like, if you're scared of everything the rest of your life, you're not going anywhere.
Right.
And we don't want to just, you know, stay at a safe space. You know, we always want to elevate. We always want to go up. You know, we always want to elevate ourselves, or at least get a little further than we were yesterday, at the bare minimum, right? So just don't give up. Don't give up on your hopes, your
take
dreams.
a paper and take some notes.
Yeah. I'm like, for real, y'all. I do love being with the youth and things like that. I think it kind of started here randomly, because this is where I'm supposed to be. But I ain't go shut up. I say what I want, is my opinion, and I can say what I want too. So I appreciate you guys listening and participating. I mean, because a lot of people are like, I didn't even know you. What do you want me to talk about? Like,
oh,
no.
Don't ask me.
Okay. So yes, it has been the greatest pleasure. Like, I appreciate you, and what an empowering, amazing woman this is. Like,
Thank you.
Just doing the most, like working with the kids.
Always.
Author. You want to spit any of your websites out of there again, the things that you're doing?
Yes, I'm going to put out the prosepotential.org again. That's PROSE potential. All right. .org. Social media, the same, no spaces. And you can follow me, Catch the Overcomer, on Facebook. I'm Kechi Amaefule. It'll probably be somewhere in the right, because it's hard to spell, but that's KECHI, last name AMAEFULE. On Facebook is Kechi Amaefule, the Queen. And on Instagram is Catch the Overcome Her. Yes. So,
boom, it goes to dynamite.
There we go.
Okay, ew. Okay, I love it. Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. Well, again, y'all, you know where to find her. I appreciate you tapping into our series today. You know, the Double Dutch Divas will be back next Sunday, and we appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much, you all, and thank you, Kechi.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Super dope. Best time ever. Good times.
Good times.
Yeah, all right.